It was a warm summer evening in Maplewood, and the town square was alive with the soft hum of laughter, the scent of popcorn from the nearby fair, and the distant strum of a guitar. I was leaning against the old oak tree, sipping my soda and watching the world unfold. My gaze fell upon Lucas and Emma, nestled on a bench under the twinkling fairy lights. They looked so perfect together, a picture of young love. Lucas, the star athlete with dreams of going to college, and Emma, the loyal girl who had always stood by him, her heart woven into his every triumph. "Promise me you'll always be there for me, Emma," Lucas said, his voice low and sincere as he tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear. Emma smiled, her eyes sparkling with hope. "Always, Lucas. You know I'll support you no matter what." But nearby, in the shadows, sat Lily. She had arrived in town a few months ago, a girl from the streets with a tough exterior but a heart that yearned for connection. I could see the way she watched Lucas, her eyes filled with a mix of admiration and longing. She had a rough past, and I doubted she ever thought someone like Lucas would even notice her. Days turned into weeks, and I began to notice Lucas and Lily crossing paths more often. It was a fateful encounter in a dimly lit alley where I first saw them together. Lucas was leaving the diner after a late shift, and Lily was sitting against the wall, sketching in a worn notebook. When she looked up and saw him, her surprise was evident. "Hey," Lucas said, a friendly smile breaking through his usual demeanor. "What are you working on?" Lily hesitated, her cheeks flushing slightly. "Just some drawings. Nothing special." But Lucas leaned in closer, his interest piqued. Their conversation flowed easily, laughter spilling out into the night. I watched from a distance, my heart sinking. They were two worlds colliding, and I knew that Lucas's infatuation with her was growing stronger. As summer turned to fall, the air grew crisp, but the warmth between Lucas and Lily only intensified. I began to notice Emma becoming more withdrawn, her laughter fading as she watched Lucas drift further away from her. At a school event, I saw Emma standing alone, her eyes searching for Lucas, only to find him across the room, his laughter ringing out as he chatted animatedly with Lily. "Why does he look at her like that?" Emma whispered to me, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. I felt a pang of sorrow for her. I thought he loved me. I wanted to comfort her, to tell her that love was not always fair, but the truth was too painful. Lucas was enchanted by Lily's carefree spirit, and I could see how the thrill of something new was intoxicating him. One crisp evening, I decided to take a walk in the park, hoping to clear my mind. As I strolled along the path, I stumbled upon a secluded spot where I saw Lucas and Lily. They were sitting close together, their laughter echoing softly in the twilight. Lucas leaned in, brushing a strand of hair behind Lily's ear, and in that moment I felt a deep sense of betrayal wash over me. Emma had trusted him. She had always been there, cheering him on. But now he had turned his back on her for someone who had barely been in our lives. I glanced back at Emma, who was watching from a distance, her heart breaking in real time. I could see the pain in her eyes, the realization that the love she cherished was slipping away. The next day, Emma confronted Lucas at the diner. I sat at the counter, pretending to sip my coffee while listening intently. "Lucas, we need to talk," Emma said, her voice steady despite the tears pooling in her eyes. He looked up, a flicker of guilt crossing his face. "Emma, I—" "Don't," she interrupted, her voice breaking. "I've given you everything. I thought you loved me." "I do love you, Emma, but there's something about Lily. I can't explain it." With those words, the final thread snapped. Emma's heart shattered as she realized that her unwavering love was not enough to keep him by her side. Days turned into weeks, and the fallout was palpable. Emma was a shell of the girl she once was, and I felt helpless watching her suffer. Lucas and Lily seemed blissfully unaware of the chaos left in their wake, their laughter ringing hollow against the backdrop of Emma's heartbreak. One rainy afternoon, I found Emma sitting on the steps of the diner, her head in her hands. The raindrops mirrored her tears, and I crouched beside her, wrapping my arms around her. "I'm so sorry, Emma," I whispered, wishing I could take her pain away. "I thought he was different," she sobbed. "I thought we had something real." As I sat there with her, I couldn't shake the feeling that Lucas had made a grave mistake. The warm glow of infatuation was fleeting, and I knew that one day he would look back and realize what he had lost. But for now, all I could do was comfort Emma, the girl who had loved him fiercely as she learned to mend her broken heart. In the end, love can be both beautiful and cruel, leaving scars that take time to heal. And as the streets of Maplewood echoed with the laughter of those who had moved on, I hoped that one day Emma would find her way back to the happiness she so richly deserved.